Welcome back. All right, so as promised, another news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet to round things out for today, unless something else happens. So in Columbus, Pascal Vincent takes over as coach. He's been the associate coach there for the last 2 seasons. He's got 10 years of experience. So he signs a 2-year contract, and from the sounds of it, he might have been the right guy to pick the whole way through. The Mike Babcock story, there is going to be more coming out. And I understand that people say, oh, players are soft and this and that. I think people take for granted that it's a workplace. That for hockey players, when they're on the ice and when they're playing, it's a game, but it's also a workplace. Having your boss going through your phone, not really standard workplace material. It's something that, yes, he has done before. Doesn't mean players liked it in Toronto or liked it in Detroit. And so what's out there now, Elliot Friedman reporting that there are numerous reports that he was spending several minutes looking through one of the players' phones. Again, I'm not handing my phone over to somebody, and I'm certainly not going to be comfortable with them going through it for minutes. So not just Mike Babcock saying, hey, show me a picture of your dog, show me a picture of your dad. There was clearly something more to this, and players felt that it was invasive. Emily Kaplan reporting that players felt there was a communication barrier between themselves and Babcock, and that even if he was trying to make changes, clearly his coaching and his style doesn't mesh with today's game, and that happens. That happens. So I've seen a lot of judgment against the players, but again, if you're in your workplace and you're not comfortable, then that's that. I've also seen people saying, well, of course, the young players, because, the older players aren't going to complain. Apparently, the experience was quite different for younger players and rookies than the experience that the veterans were getting, which we've heard with Babcock before, right? So the scenario seems to be that he steps down and he was able to spend 24 to 48 hours with the team working out how his stepping down was going to take place. Once the NHLPA had been there and they turned their information over to the NHL, it was clear there was not a road forward where Mike Babcock would be a coach in Columbus. And so here we are. And again, I do think there's going to be other things that come out about this. And if you're comfortable with handing your phone over to your boss when you get to work, you're a different person than I. If I walked into a workplace and, hey, show me your phone, no matter which job I've had, it would have been no. Not getting my phone. And again, I've seen people saying, well, they could just say no. I don't know that they necessarily could. And there's always been that discussion about Babcock and a power imbalance and power tripping. And so again, we'll see what other details come out in the coming days. But it does feel like Columbus made a decision here that could not have been easy for Jarmo Kekalainen, because now his job's on the line here. If this season ends up going sideways, if it's a disaster, it's highly likely then that his job is on the line coming out of that. So again, Columbus, I have all the Columbus jerseys. I still have some I haven't worn yet. We'll see if I'm done cycling through the Columbus jerseys, but it definitely feels like I've been wearing Columbus a lot. But we'll see. Again, we'll see what happens. All the best to Pascal Vincent now as the coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets. The 2-year contract goes through 2024-2025, and there we go. So and again, it sounds like he really should have been a coach a while ago. This is something I've been saying. Look in the AHL, look at your coaches at the NHL level, your associate or assistant coaches, and you can probably find somebody who can run the bench in your organization as it is. You don't need to give Mike Babcock $8 million over 2 years. Jujhar Khaira had been out there as a UFA. He is a UFA no longer. He signs a 1-year contract with the Minnesota Wild. It is a 2-way contract worth the league minimum of $775,000 at the NHL level, $300,000 at the AHL level. So if he gets sent down, he still gets $300,000 if he spends the season in the AHL. Now, tomorrow is a big day for the PWHL. We saw, of course, all the teams get their 3 free agents signed. Now they round up the rest of their rosters, at least most of the rest of the rosters. The PWHL draft is tomorrow. That's at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Each team with 15 picks. So that's 90 overall. And again, so that'll bring them up to 18 players in the organization each. Obviously, there's still going to be room for some more additions. But that'll be interesting to see who goes where and how that all turns out. I very well may be watching that. I'm not intending on doing a live stream at this point. Maybe I'll put up a poll on the channel and see if people want to see a live stream of the draft or not. But yeah, at this point in time, the PWHL draft, it should be entertaining, should be fun, and I will definitely track who ends up going where. So the Winnipeg-Vancouver game that just completed before starting this video, Colby Barlow tied the game for the Jets at 2. The Canucks honestly dominated, I would say, the first 45 minutes of this game and then started getting into penalty trouble. And we know that penalty killing has been a problem for the Canucks. This is only a rookie tournament. This is not the main roster. But it felt familiar seeing a Vancouver jersey-wearing team losing a lead on the penalty kill. So, you know, again, we'll see once they get into main camp how many of these kids end up making it. But most of the players playing for the Vancouver team today were players who are going to be in Abbotsford, and a lot of them were players who were in Abbotsford last year, so familiar with each other. I thought the Jets had a good run, and especially with the penalties going against Vancouver, and then they end up winning it in the shootout, the Jets do. So Barlow with a nice goal in that game. I thought that was worthy of throwing up on the board. Baines had a nice goal for Vancouver as well, and so we'll see what happens. Now, circling back to the Mike Babcock situation, Marty Walsh getting a lot of praise coming out of this. A lot of talk that during the Donald Fir reign as the head of the NHLPA, it's likely that the Columbus and NHL statements of nothing to see here would have been taken at face value. Marty Walsh took this on himself to make sure that he did a further investigation, even after the public statements were there's nothing here. And he also has come out with a statement now saying players deserve to be treated with respect in the workplace. And again, this is where I know there's some fans who don't see it as a workplace. That's fine, but it is a workplace. And he said that was not the case in Columbus. There was not that respect for the players. So again, this is not just a matter of just a couple of phones and somebody worried about a dirty picture showing up. There's a lot more than that to this, or else Marty Walsh wouldn't have come out with that statement. So the union, this is interesting because, of course, one of the statements has been, well, players are more comfortable going to Bissonnette than they are going to the National Hockey League. That is true. I'm not surprised by that either. We've seen the NHL sweep multiple items under the carpet, under the rug, and just, you know, wait until the dust clears and people forget about whatever controversies going on that day. But I do wonder if Marty Walsh making this statement is in part to let players know, hey, before you guys text Biz, before you guys decide to, you know, tell somebody in the media, come to me, you can trust the NHLPA. There has been a lot of talk over many, many years, going back to Alan Eagleson, about whether or not you can trust the NHLPA head, if the union's really in this for the players or not. And getting cohesion with that union when you get to CBA negotiations has been a problem too. You always see fracturing off of players. If Marty Walsh can unite the players, and if he can win their respect and their trust, yeah, the union gets that much stronger. And sadly, that probably means when we get to the negotiating the next CBA, maybe we see more of a chance of a stoppage. But at any rate, yeah, I will applaud him for this and for putting out this statement. And he also said that Columbus made the right decision in going forward with a new coach, which undercuts what Babcock's done in stepping down. Basically saying it's Columbus's decision to go with another coach, not that Babcock decided I'm going to be a distraction, I'm going to step down. So there you go. A lot of kudos to Marty Walsh today, and a lot of people saying, hey, you know, Biz was right. And it really with Biz, maybe in this case too, the next time he gets a text, maybe Marty Walsh is the one that gets a text from him as well. So if I was in Walsh's position, I would reach out to Biz and say, hey, you know, we're trying to help the players out here, and I understand the reputation the union's had at times, but we're trying to clean that up. So we'll see what happens from here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, don't worry, I even have practice jerseys for Columbus, so if I need to, I can dive into the tickle trunk. Look up Mr. Dress Up if you don't know what the tickle trunk is, and I feel bad for you. But yeah, I've got 2 Columbus practice jerseys. I've also got a couple of fashion jerseys. I got Columbus. I'm good. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. It's been an eventful week around the National Hockey League when it comes to Columbus. Thank you guys again for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.